Hey, what's going on, guys? Alex here with Jordan, and we're going to bring you this week's fishing report. Now, this is like early Christmas for all of us out here in the Chesapeake Bay right now. We're having one of the best bites that we had in probably about 10 or plus years for this time of the year for, the big migratory striped bass. The fact is that a lot of these fish have shown up in good numbers, and they are here pretty much spread out anywhere from the Bay Bridge all the way south. And that means you can find them everywhere in the region. You don't have to, trailer all the way down to Point Lookout like we used to the past few years. We're getting reports of fish being caught, anywhere from the mouth of the Severn all the way down towards Point Lookout. Biggest clue that we can give you is pretty much, there's a few birds out there, but this is not a thing that you're going to be looking for birds specifically. It's going to be a thing of trust your electronics, scan the edges, look for fish on the surface. You will find some of those fish in the evenings. We've been getting some reports of some guys finding rolling 40-plus inch fish on the surface with no birds around or a few birds. And just scan, scan around the edges, scan around if you find schools of birds around the, the birds. You don't necessarily have to be over top of them. And they're there. I mean, this has been a consistent bite now for probably since before the storm came by, with multiple people catching, fish to 50 inches. I even heard of a fish over 50. There was a 51. And you have been experiencing some of those fish pushing up to the river, right? Inside the rivers?
So I've been fishing off a kayak way up in the rivers, and I'm finding isolated fish on docks, and specifically close to sundown around lights and stuff like that. They're really holding there, and I've seen fish caught out of the rivers up to 47, I believe, was the biggest I've seen so far. I've been consistently catching fish right around that 30-inch mark, right on docks. So they're pushing up shallow. I'm not quite sure why this time of year, but they're everywhere in the rivers right now.
Yeah, well, remember, biggest time of the day, warmest point, with these temperatures right now, and those flats, you will find some of those fish in, a little bit of shallower water. So there's been consistency all around, like I said. So don't be surprised if you're north of the bridge and you're catching, some 40-inch fish in open water too. Point is, if you're trolling, obviously trolling's working. I don't think it matters on what you're doing. It's just, cover some ground. But if you're out there trying to jig, you will kind of bump up your size of your jigs anywhere from 1.5 to 2 ounces at times. And the bigger profile baits are the ticket right now for those big fish. The 7-inch diesel minnows, 10-inch BKDs, the 8-inch, streak XLs. Anything big, like profile that is like a pretty big profile, will get you some of those fish. And don't get me wrong, you can still throw metals or, vertical jig metals on the bottom. You'll catch a good amount of quantity of fish. But we haven't seen a lot of those, big fish hitting those metals. I'm sure you'll get a few of them like that. The big flutter spoons are the way to go too right now too, if you have a little bit of a slower drift or just in general. But get out there. I don't think this is going to change. I think the only thing that's going to keep us away from those fish is going to be if it gets cold enough where there's going to be some ice on the boat ramps and whatnot, which hopefully doesn't happen because I will be breaking ice to get out there. But besides the point is, there's a lot of good fishing with that, and there's other stuff to offer around the area too, in the creeks once again, and that is
so I've been
pickerel fishing, right?
Pickerel and a little bit of bass fishing too has been picking up. For pickerel, the bite's turned over from a paddle tail and moving bite to like a suspending jerkbait bite right now. That's all I can really get them on. And they're just up in docks and around structure right in that 3 to 7 foot, maybe even 10-foot range this time of year. So all your points and your docks is a good place to start for pickerel.
Yep, and remember, if you're in this middle region area, once again, same rivers we always mention, Severn, Magothy, Patapsco are going to be the top 3 to fish for locally here, and then of course all the ponds and rivers on the eastern shore. So get out there. That's something, if it's a little too windy, that can always be the backup to go into, especially if you have a trolling motor in most of these rivers around the area here. So get in there and, try to get some pickerel. Maybe even get a slam, do a little bit of pickerel fishing in the morning, get out there for rock fishing in the afternoon. Besides that, ocean fishing is still going strong with bluefin. There's still good reports of bluefin just a couple miles off the shore out of Ocean City. Chincoteague seems to be pretty good too. Anywhere in the coast right now, the guys even up north are still catching them up in New Jersey. So obviously weekdays are going to be a little bit better than weekends because of the boat traffic, but get out there. The point being is fishing's not over. Don't be afraid of the cold weather. We saw plenty of of cold weather equipment here for you guys to outerwear to put on and get out there, because if you're not out there, you ain't catching. So well, I think that's it for a fishing report this week, guys, and we want to wish you Merry Christmas, and we'll see you guys next week.